ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹਜ਼ੂਰ, ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ। ਹਵਾਈ ਬੰਦਗੀ ਅਵੁਰ ਦਰ ਵਜੂਦ ਮਰਾ, वगरने ज़ौक़े चुनी आमदै नमूद मरा। भूल छिमो हमरी प्रभापन भूलन हार कहाँ को मोस, काहिरे बन खोजन जाई सर्व निवासी सदा लेपा तोहे संग समाई। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। We are visiting the Bani of the Japji, the first Bani of the Guru Granth, the foundation stone, so to say, of the Guru Granth, the darshan of Guru Granth, where Guru Sahib defines the strategy for spirituality. He gives out the fundamentals of the Creator's vision, where he spells out what is life's real vision and how do we go about living it. The Guru Granth Sahib is composed of in 31 rags, and the Japji is not with a rag because it is a conceptual Bani. It's not composed in a rag. When we visit the Guru Granth Sahib, we visit it in Pauris. The word Pauri actually means a step. Every Pauri is a step to understanding more about myself, more about life, more about creation, more about the Creator. Often in today's vision, people ask about God. Is there a God? Is there a person who is a God, or is there a Creator? What is the vision of the Creator? Some religions are confused about that. They don't say yes or no. Buddhism doesn't say yes or no. But some religions are very affirmative. Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj, from step one, from the first syllable of the Guru Granth, acknowledges the presence of an energy called a omkar. He defines it as a omkar. But he also says it has infinite names. It is not possible to explain it, describe it. He uses some words to express this Creator. Like a government expresses its laws, and through its laws it expresses its presence. So you go to a state, the laws are governed by the government, and that shows the presence of the government. So in spirituality, in nature, the laws by which the nature is governed is the presence of the Creator. Einstein, in one of his expressions, says that God is all the rules of the physics is God. Maharaj calls this presence hukam, and we all live in this hukam. Like a fish lives in water, doesn't know it's in water. We live in this hukam, and we are unaware of this hukam. Becoming aware of this hukam makes us aware of the Creator. Then we can perceptively know the presence and feel the presence like a living energy. So there is something which separates us from this hukam. And that Maharaj says is the home. And the entire flow of life is to understand this home, the ego world, and to go beyond it. So in the Japji, Maharaj raises this question, Kiv satyara hoiye, kiv kude tutte paal. How does the wall of falsehood break? And how do I become satyara, aware of the Creator? And there he answers it by bringing forth the concept of hukam and the will of the hukam. Hukam raza. And what is the ego? He defines that. Hukam raza hi chalna. In the steps of the hukam, the creator, knowing that hukam, we can be aware of the creator. Nanak likhya naal. But he says, there is another life we have. While we understand or live this hukam, there is the life of the ego. Nanak likhya naal. That's the baggage we carry. The baggage of karam. The baggage of our seeds which we have sown. So the hukam has its presence in the ego world through its laws, and it has its presence in the world beyond the ego. These are two different worlds, yet intertwined, yet intermingled. So if I remain in the ego world and don't go beyond it, then that becomes a curse. Because I have not understood the creator, the person, or the energy which has created me. I have not understood it. And that is a loss. It's a serious loss because it makes me go meander and seek and wander. Wander in search of something. What is it that we are seeking? We are all looking for some profit, some happiness. We look for it in every aspect of our lives. Some of us, the profit is eluded. We don't get it all our lives. We live in a loss all our lives. Some of us have a profit. But this profit which I'm talking about is the ego world profit. It's in our identity. That's the ego. So everything we get in our identity is temporary. It's transient and temporary. It's not permanent. It can't be there forever. Everything which life gives us takes it away from us. Then the question comes, what is life all about? I will experience this life. I will gain some things or lose some things and ultimately lose it all. Lose my relationships, lose my status, lose my wealth. Whatever wealth I have spent, I have used, that I can consider I have used as mine. But most of us use only a portion of what we earn. So what we have saved and left behind, whose wealth is that? We think it is ours. We assume it is ours. When we sleep at night, we have figures in our head which says, I have this much wealth, and so that makes us sleep better maybe. But that's all. Like opium, makes you sleep better. Takes us away from reality. So, we've known that what I've used is mine. What I have left behind is not mine. And what I have used and spent is also not mine. It's gone. It's not with me. What remains with us is the question which we must ponder on. The Bani of the Sikh Gurus, I lean on heavily because some concepts of the man are very explicitly discussed there. So this question is raised, kahan te aave, kahan hai jave, kahan hai rahe samai. So wandering, ana and jana, coming and going. And samana is where I find rest, sama jana. That is the second option. Maharaj says, hukme aave, hukme jave, hukme rahe samai. He comes in hukam, goes in hukam, and in hukam he finds rest. Or he will find rest when he knows hukam. Hukam razai chalna. This is not a concept which is there in any other philosophy I have seen. Hukam. Maharaj knows the creator in the form of hukam. And it has synonyms. It has Shabad as the other form of the creator. Shabad is what, Maharaj? Guru says everything is Shabad. The entire creation rests on the foundation of Shabad. And the form Shabad, the Shabad which is Sakar, which is in form, that is the Guru Granth Sahib, the defined Shabad we know. But there is an undefined Shabad, which we don't know, which has come from the source of the Creator. When I have a thought, the thought is expressed in words. That is the form of the thought. But there was a thought before the form came. Before the words got expressed about that thought, there was already some thought. The Shabad comes from a source. And Maharaj says that, and no confusion about it. He says this is not coming from the ego world. This is not coming from me. Not from the I. He says this comes from a state of being where there is no I. And he talks about this as his beloved, Khasam. Jaisi mein aave Khasam ki bani. Taisada kari gyan velalo. So the Bani comes, it's a revealed Shabad. And this revealed Shabad is what we discuss as the Japji. What was revealed to Guru Nanak Sahib. We've done 20 bodies, Maharaj. Today we will do the 21st body. And here Sahib is discussing about the concept of gain which we have. We feel that there are certain things which we do which help us gain. Like in spirituality we gain by some things. We assume some things. But are those assumptions right? We have to see that. Is it right? Then we also feel that we are gaining in spirituality, that we are winning this game of life. But what is the win and the loss of life? And where does this happen? How does it get revealed to us? Maharaj talks about this in the 21st body. And he talks about other concepts which we will discuss. So we will read the 21st body. I think Gagan is going to read the Shabad today. And then we'll go into discussing what Maharaj is saying. Thank you.
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। हाँ जी। तीरथ तप दया तत् दान, जे को पावे दिल का मान, सुनिया मनिया मन कीता पाओ, अंतर्गत तीरथ मल नाओ। सब गुण तेरे में नाही कोय, विण गुण कीते भगत न होए। स्वस्थ आत पाणी बरमाओ, सत सुहाण सदा मन चाओ। कवण सो वेला वकत कवण, कवण तित कवण वार, कवण से रुति महाकवण, जित होआ आकार। वेल न पाया पंडिती, जे होवे लेख पुराण, वक्त न पाया कादिया, जे लिखन लेख कुरान। तित वार न जोगी जाने, रुत महा न कोय, जा करता सिद्धि को साजे, आपे जाने सोए। किव कर आखा किव सलाहे, किव वर्णी किव जाना, नानक आखन सबको आखे, एक दो एक सियाणा। वड्डा साहिब वड्डी नाए, कीता जाका होवे, नानक जे को आपो जाने, आगे गया न सोए। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
नानक जी को आपे जाने, आगे गया न सोए. We like to define the Creator in our terms. It's the urgency of my mind to have everything in my control, to have everything defined. The human mind is not at rest when it feels it's not controlling the environment it's in. It wants to know, quantify, define, measure, so that everything remains within reach of its depth. So in this way, we want to quantify the creator of all creation. We want to measure it, have it within our ability to know, give it a number. And in that way we feel we have defined it. This is the fallacy of the mind. It is an error which we inbuilt in us all. We want to define our source by giving it a number. Maharaj says, how can the river know what the ocean is? It has never met the ocean. How can the child know what the father is? These are all things that happen beyond our ability to understand and know. But yet, there are some things which need our attention. Now, there are two worlds we live in. One is our identity world, and one is our source world, where this identity gets created from our source. In the Sikh Gurus, Maharaj is asked this question, that when there is no body and there is no heart, where does the mind live? Jai hirde deh na hoti, ta man kaithe rehta. Where does the mind go when there is no body, there is no heart, no hirde? There is no form, physical form. Maharaj says, hirde deh na hoti audu, ta man sun reha bairagi. When the mind goes into its source, the sun avastha. Sahib defines the mind in different phases of the sun avastha, which has its relevance to breath, relevance to man, and it has its relevance to Shabad. These are the three elements which create us: Shabad, Surt and Swas. And this is what helps us to go into Sun. When all these three meet, we go into Sunnavastha. Sikh Gurus discusses this aspect. It also discusses the ways of meditation, a relationship between sexuality and meditation. These are concepts which Maharaj touches on. Now, there is one big issue which comes in the way of spirituality again and again. The human being wants to live in its ego mind and yet explore spirituality and know it. It cannot happen. The ego mind does not have the ability to go into the spiritual world. But we have created methods of fooling ourselves. This is what Maharaj is touching on today. When he says that when we are in our ego form, when we are in the home, then we want to do these things. I would say the do-good ability. When we have the stability, we have the wealth. Now we want to do something good. So there are four things he says we do. Tirath, Tap, Daya, Dat, Dan. We go into Tirath, pilgrimages. We want to gain spiritually now. We think we have control over our physical self. Now we want to gain spiritually. So we want to wash our sins, do any of these things. Do Tap, do penance, to abstain from things. Daya, be compassionate. And Dat, Dan, and give away wealth. Be philanthropic. These are all good things. There's nothing wrong about them. But when they are done from the ego mind, from the ego self, and when we are looking for encashing these things which we do in the selfish mode, We want to be known as the Haji. We want to be known as the spiritual person in society. We want to be known as the philanthropist. We want a measure of that. We want a tombstone where our name is written and it says what good we did in life. We want to go to the temple or Gurdwara and have a placard or a stone put there with our name saying how much money we gave. We want to be selfish about our giving. There, the giving is not really genuine, and it has very little return. There's a story in Buddhism about a saint called Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma is the disciple of Buddha who took Christianity to China, and from there it went to Japan. A very spiritual person, and he is the foundation of the Shaolin temple. He is the reason why in Kung Fu, if you see, they salute with one hand. Before, when they are going to fight in Kung Fu, they salute with one hand, not two. Because of Bodhidharma, because his disciple cut off one hand and asked him to turn around because he was doing penance for 9 years facing a wall. So this is a story. Bodhidharma went from India and he went to the king in China. And the king had made many stupas to Buddhism, many places of reverence in Buddhist terms, and he asked Bodhidharma, I have made so many temples, I have made so many places. What will I gain from all this? Bodhidharma was very blunt. And he was real. He was right. He said nothing. And the king was shocked. He says, all this good I did, I will gain nothing. He said, yes, you will gain nothing. He was thrown out of the court, discarded and sent away. And then the story followed. We don't get anything. In the ego sense, we have nothing coming to ourselves. Whatever we do in the ego world, in the I world, in the home world, is spent in the home world. It goes away. After we are dead, we depart from here. We take away the baggage, which is what Maharaj tells us in the 20th body. Punni papi akharna hai. Kar karna likh le jao. We have taken the baggage and gone. The ego world has two feet on which it rests its creation. One is Trishna, desire, and the other is the wandering and seeking. So it's constantly desiring, and the desire keeps changing because the mind, ego mind is not stable mind, it's the changing mind. It will want something today and something more tomorrow. I remember when we were growing up, we used to play table tennis. And they used to have butterfly rackets then, which was spongy and thick. And we all assumed that this spongy, thick rackets will help us play better. And little did we know, when we went to play the tournament, somebody came with a handmade racket and beat us with no sponge into it, just a wooden board. This is what the ego world does to us. It makes us imagine that we will be better off giving money, being philanthropic. We've done some good. We go to pilgrimages. We've gone to Kumbh. It will help me. I am religious because I do all this. But what is the nature of spirituality? If it is selfish, then this I has very little foundation. The moment the lifespan of a person is over, everything that he or she does is gone with it. Only the precipitates remain of the karam. The baggage remains. So Maharaj says that you can want to do these good things. In the Asadi War, a similar line was discussed by Guru Sahib. He says that when a person becomes wealthy, becomes stable, becomes known, he wants to do good now. So he says that de mange saisa guna, satya man santokh upje, dene ke vichar. Those who become satvadi, the good people in society, now they want to give. Satya man santokh upje, they become satisfied with the world, they have fulfilled some desires, they are happy with life. Dene ke vichar. They want to give. They want to be philanthropic. But behind this philanthropy is selfishness. It is not selfless. If my good is selfish, then it is in my ego world. Then I'm going to encash it in this life. Then he says, de mange saisa guna. They give, but they ask for many times more. Like I discussed about this lady who used to do this seva of trees in the Khalsa Environment Project. She would only give fruit trees. And the logic she gave me was that as long as the tree will live, I will get the pun from that tree. The creator has no role. The fruit is made by... So it's a very warped logic a man uses for his sense of gain. We want to gain. We want happiness and we want profit. But all these are fallacies. These are not... The happiness in this ego world comes with unhappiness together. The profit comes with loss. It doesn't come on its own. But we are seeking this profit. We are seeking happiness. There we find a trap to this. And we feel we have control over life. So we can give this. De mange saisa guna. So kare sansar. And I also want people to praise me. Because the ego world has the desire. The desire needs to be satiated by others appreciating me. When others appreciate me, I feel happy. So I am. So I is reinforced by this demand I have from the people appreciating me. And this I feel happy. But all this is not real. It's a Maya. It's all going to go away. This is one aspect of life I have to go beyond. I cannot carry the baggage of ego in the spiritual life. Maharaj calls that naam, like Shabad. Like he discusses Shabad, he talks about naam, hukam. So Maharaj says that we as seekers want to go to pilgrimages, do tirath, give alms, be philanthropic, have compassion, but always with the selfish motive, not selfless. Because the moment we become selfless, the ego world is gone. Then I go into a different world. There the rules are different. There the wall of falsehood is broken. Kiv satyara hui hai, kiv kude totte paal. The hukam is an order. And if I live the Creator's order, then I have lived the reality of the Creator. I have known the Creator. And in knowing the Creator, I have lived the experience of the Creator. These are the exalted, the punch. Those who have the inner doors of reality opened to them. Maharaj says when we meet our Guru, we meet the Anand of our life. Unconditional happiness. The happiness which lives forever is met through the meeting of God and Guru. And there is no ego there. So here, I will never meet the Guru. When the eye is dropped, I meet the Guru. Bhagat Kabir says, tu karta tu hua, mujh mein raha na hu. I kept saying, you are, and I became you. I have no me left in me. So here there is no desire left. The person is living the hukum. This is what Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj will tell us about in the Pauri of Sachkhand. He says there the jiv hukum teve tevkar. There is no difference between the hukum of the Creator and me and my ego world. They have one now. The ego world is gone and I live the hukum. Jiv hukum teve tevkar. Maharaj is talking about a world where the Creator exists and I am in awareness of the Creator, face to face, so to say. Not in the physical sense, but in the revelation of the mind, we live the Creator. This morning we meditated on a very nice Shabad of Bhagat Kabir. He talks about Ved kate biftera pai dil ka fikr na jaye. Worry doesn't go away. Worry is part of my ego. Because with Trishna, desires, the relatives of desire come with it. And one of the relatives of desire is pain, and one is the world where we are always worried. We're always thinking about how to get profit, how to gain more and more and more. But in life, physical gain is a different thing. Nothing wrong with it. But it's different. And if we make that our foundation, then there is trouble for us because that will go away. That physical gain is not mine. We heard this Sufi story in which the person goes to this king, the Sufi Sant goes to this king and says, I like your visiting home, your Sarah. Sarah is a place which is a place where people stay for some time and then go ahead. And the king was very upset. He said, this is my home. This is not a Sarah. This is not a hotel or a place where people can stay and move ahead. And the Sufi says, but I came some years ago and I found there was someone similar like you here. You were not here at that time. And he says, yes, that was my father. So where is he now? He also said the same thing which you are saying. This is my home. Where is he? He says he passed away some years ago. So he says, so this is not his home then. Similarly, this is not your home. Similarly, these homes which we live in are not our home. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we work towards knowing where is our home. Phir ghar baiso har jan pyare. Where do I find rest within my home? This is my question. So Maharaj says that Tirath tap daya dat daan Jeko pave til ka maan. You can do all these things in the ego world, but you gain very little. You gain exaltation in society, you gain people appreciate you in society. It's very small gain. Maharaj says, in the spiritual world, these things don't work in the ego sense. They work in the selfless sense. Suniye mane man ki tapa. Maharaj is giving us the formula which he mentioned earlier in a different form, in different words. Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj is a spiritual psychologist. He's talking about the psychology of the spirit. the Atma, how to meet the Creator. Dropping the ego, he says, is the door to an inner peace and love and happiness. And what is the method, Maharaj? Suniye maniye. We can never listen completely unless we drop the ego. There is a society in England which was created for emotional support. And there they say this thing, that if you are a listener and you are helping heal another person who is in distress, you have to put your ego aside. You can't bring your issues when somebody is sharing. But when we listen to someone else, we bring our own issues in the middle. Somebody tells us, this person has been wrong to me, I've been very hurt, very upset. And we'll say, oh, this is nothing. I have had worse done to me. So I have brought in my experience. And I have not listened to what the other person is saying. So this will not heal. I can only completely listen when I stop the chatter in my mind. When I stop my own banter, when my ego. When I've rested my ego, will I listen? And then, in complete suniye, I go into manna, maniye, which is what Maharaj told us earlier in the Japji. He gave us these steps. First he told us, gaviye suniye. These are the steps to create dhyan within me. We have a wavering mind. This means the foundation of Shabad is not going to find its expression. This is our problem. When Maharaj says that you listen, that listening means you drop yourself, your ego. You drop the ego mind. And then you go into Manan. Then you have become one with the source mind. Don't take this lightly. When Bulle Shah talks about his Guru, he says, Bulle Shah nu Murshid milya, unhe evein ja bakshaya. Unhe evein ja bakshaya. He's just made me go beyond just like that, without any reason. The Murshid mind and the Murid mind become one. The Murshid is the exalted, the Paramgyani, the Guru. And the Murid has given his mind, merged his mind, become one mind. So the dhyan has become one. How does this happen? When I am in seva, then I am in attendance, then I have to be in dhyan of the person whose attendance I am in. So in the Guru Granth Sahib, often it is mentioned, Pakha pani piso sant aage. I do physical seva of the sant, in the sant's presence. That physical seva means the dhyan. Be in dhyan of the sant, with the sant. So if one is in thought, the other's thought is known at the same time. If I am doing seva, that means I have to be in attendance in my mind. It's not only physical seva. The physical seva is the expression of it. But that has to do with the mind's presence. Example, suppose I am providing water to my Guru. I have to be careful about the water. I have to be careful how I am going to give it. I have to be in presence attentive while I am giving it. So the dhyan is all there. The water is a symbolic representation of the presence of my dhyan with my Guru. That is how seva becomes simran. I am doing a physical activity, but where is my thought? My thought is one with the Guru. If this happens, then what really happens is that even before the Guru thinks of it, if he has a need for water, he doesn't have to ask for it. The Sevadar knows he wants water. That is how the union of these minds happen. That means the mind has been given up. The ego mind has gone. Does that mean my ego world go away? Doesn't mean that. We can still live the ego world to a degree. Because after the gross element of life is gone, then it's difficult to live this life. Physical life becomes non-sustainable. But otherwise, we can live the physical world and the spiritual world in parallel. There can be conflicts for it. There can be reasons where these clash. But there can also be union. There can also be synergies. So I am in the ego identity world and I am in the Simran world. The Simran world becomes my definition of the ego world. The ego world will still have its own issues. Because there I have to use my intellect, but here I have to drop my intellect. But then becomes the inspiration. The inspiration of Simran defines the ego world. And we can drop the ego and go into Simran as and when we get inspired. So these are the two worlds of the mind. One world doesn't have complete satiation. It has desire built into it. The other world has complete satiation. It satiates us. So Maharaj says, Suniye, maniye, man kita pao. Find the love within yourself. Find the anand within yourself. This love is unconditional love. It doesn't have a condition to it. This is the nature of all creation. When I go into Sunna and Manna, I go beyond the ego mind. This is the Tirath world. This is the real pilgrimage of life, where I can go into my inner space of love. Maharaj says this is the pilgrimage. And for this you have to drop your ego. Suniye maniye. Man kita pao. Find the love within yourself. The love is the defining parameter of dropping the ego. If we don't love, we can't drop the ego. In hatred, we make our ego stronger. So we go into the hell of life. फिर दोस्त में दो जग को मिला लो यारब सैर करने की कुछ जगह और ही सही. I create a hell for myself. Hating anyone means my life is becoming hateful. Maharaj says, Antargat Tirathmal now. Within myself, I find a Naam and Tirath and pilgrimage. All I need to do is go within myself, and there is a beautiful place there. This is the emergence of Dhyan and Shabad. Suniye maniye. I am in attendance of my Guru, and the Guru calls me, and the world stops because I am in attendance. I am in presence because I am now listening completely to the Guru. I have dropped my ego. I go into Manan by practicing what he tells me. It can be getting a glass of water. I find the love within myself. I've broken the barriers of ego world. Yet, the ego world will remain with me for some time. And the Guru Nanak Sahib talks about these stages of life when he takes Jagrat, Supan, Sakopat, Turiya. Today we did meditate on the Shabad of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj when he says, Tragun te atit, beyond the qualities of life, beyond the defined qualities of life, the undefined. Avgato nirmail upje, nirgun te sargun tiya. The pure mind comes from the undefined world, avgato. And there, the undefined, nirgun, defines the sargun. The defined world is coming from the nirgun. Nirgun te sargun tiya. Maharaj, we're all going to live our lives. We are all going to have our spans as Karam defines them for us. But what's the ultimate reality of this life? What will I find in this life? That is going to define the victory of life, or the moment where I've understood life. Or what is it that I will not do or do where I lose life? Antargat Tirat Malnao. This is the victory of life, where I have won the space within my mind where there is no ego. The Thirghar, the Nijghar. The house which has no cement and iron in it, but which defines the beauty of life, which gives a fragrance which lives with us forever, which gives out a resplendence, a light which has no source, which gives out a sound which has no source, anahad, and which defines love and anand, happiness and love without source, without reason. All that with reason is within the ego world, Maharaj. Maharaj says these qualities, suniye maniye, these are essential for revealing the inner truths of the mind. Sab gun tere, main nahi koi. And all these come from you, not from myself. The ego world doesn't define any of these spiritual characters. And without receiving this grace, the gun, I cannot be a bhagat. I can only be a bhagat if I get the grace of the Nirankar. I get the Gur Prasad, where the Guru's presence in my life changes life. There will be a Pauri which comes ahead, part of the Siddh Gosht, where Maharaj says, Man jeete jag jeet. We win this world if we know our mind, if we won over our mind. And how do we win over our mind? By dropping the ego mind. Suniye maniye, man ki tapao. And finding the source of love within ourselves. Without love, we cannot form, understand, or live nature's beauty. We will be in conflict always. Sadhu appreciates that state of being where there is complete assurance. Nothing gets taken away. Nothing is temporary. Nothing is transient. So the love and happiness which the sadhu talks about is forever. It's beyond life. It's beyond death. That's why he calls it Amrit. Guru Amar Das Maharaj, when he talks about this in the Anand Sahib being the Bani of happiness. But Anand is an absolute word. It doesn't have an opposite. Everything which has an opposite is in duality. That will live together. Anand is the inner source of happiness. And Only condition being I meet the Guru. Guru, as in Guru meaning Gur Prasad. When the Guru graces us, we meet our inner happiness. When Gur kite bhagat na hoy. Maharaj says, Swast At Bani Barmao. I bow to that Creator. His Bani and his creative ability. At is his Maya. All are his because of the Creator. This whole creation is actually a reflection of the Creator himself or herself. And if I realize this, if I've realized this life of Brahm, of Maya and of Bani, then I find something which is very powerful. Sat Sohan Sada Man Chao. I find truth, which is very beautiful. Sada, where there is no death. Man is in Anand. This is synonym of Sat Chit Anand. In the Upanishads, this line comes in 2-3 different Upanishads. That which is truth is my Chit, and that is Anand. That's without reason. That's the nature of Chit. So that which is with us always, we go into conflicts and want to find it outside. Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Maharaj says that Kat hi khojo pai. Seek it within yourself. Then how do I seek it? Suniye maniye. Listen to the Shabad and go into the Manan of Shabad. Did we ever do that? Did we ever sit down, recite the Shabad, became one mind with the Shabad, become so absorbed that the love within us rises, finds expression? Antargat Tirat Malna. The ego mind has a conflict. It wants to keep defining life. So Maharaj says that in this world there are people who are always seeking to define the Creator. Kavan suvela vakat kavan, kavan thit kavan var. When was the Creator created? Which day? Which date? Which time? Kavan suruti mahakavan, in which season, which month? Jit hoa akar, when the Creator, the life came about. Jit hoa akar. Whether the akar, the form came or the form was not there, the Creator is always there. So this question actually does not address knowing the Creator. If we know the Creator, we don't have dependence on the form after that. We become free of form. Form and shape and name, we don't need it. As long as we keep seeking the Creator in form and shape, we will find dead ends. Because these are the reflection of the Creator, not the Creator himself. This is the Dvait. That is why Guru Sahib inspires us to go into Shabad within ourselves. The Shabad is the revelation of the mind where it goes beyond the ego mind. How mein Shabad jalai. Ego is burnt by Shabad. There we go into the formless Creator, Nirakar. And the signal of that is the Anand. Happiness which we visit without reason. Kavan suruti mahakavan jito akar. ਵੇਲ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਪੰਡਤੀ, ਵੇਲ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਪੰਡਤੀ, ਜੇ ਹੋਵੇ ਲੇਖ ਪੁਰਾਣ. Maharaj says the Pandit has not found any date, cannot find it. He has all the granths of the Quran, all his texts, all his books, but he doesn't find what time the creation was created. So there were, at the time of when Guru Nanak was visiting the earth, in India there were three forms of religion. One was the Hindu and the Muslim, and the third was the Yogi, Yog Mat. It was not part of Hinduism at that stage. It was supposedly a different independent sect by itself. It still has its independent, I'm sure. But at that time it was definedly different. So whenever in the texts of the Gurbani, religion or different sects of religion are addressed, all these three are addressed. The Pandit, the Islam and the Yogi. And this is what Maharaj is doing here. He says the Pandit didn't find it. Waqt na payo Qadiyan, and the Qadiyan is the representation of the Islam mat. Waqt na payo Qadiyan, je likhan lekh Quran, and in the Quran also, if it is mentioned, he would have said it is there. And the third, thit var na jogi jane. So what is Maharaj saying? Maharaj is saying that the defined religion of today is not addressing the reality of spirituality. They are seeking limited answers to definitions to the minds controlling the Creator. Whereas the opposite is true. The Creator is who creates us, and we cannot control Him or know Him or define Him. But we can live Him. Thitvar na jogi jane, rut maha na koi. The yogi also has no awareness. He doesn't know which date, when it was created. Jakarta sirthi ko saje, ap jane soi. This knowing is in the presence of the Creator Himself. When we become one with the Creator, all these answers are dropped and we become aware of everything. Jakarta sirthi ko saje, He who has created this creation knows everything. He is all-knowing. Kev kar akha, kev salahi, kyun varni kev jana. How will I say? Maharaj says, kev kar akha, kev salahi. How do I praise Him? Kyun varni kev jana. Kiv kar akha, kiv salahi, kyun varni kiv jana. When and how the creation came about, how will I say, Maharaj says. Maharaj says, I don't go into addressing this issue. Ja karta sirthi ko saje. Nanak akhan sabko akhe, ik du ik siyana. Maharaj says, everybody is wise. Everybody knows. They think they know. Nanak akhan sabko akhe. Nanak is saying to everyone. Nanak is the nom de plume, the name of Nanak. Nanak says, everyone knows. Everybody thinks he is wise, he knows it all. But they don't know. None of them know. They want to define. And they want to prove that they know by these definitions. And this is true in today's world also. So many people I have seen giving different forms and saying, here the light comes from here, goes there. This is what happens. This is how it is happening. And I really fathom how these people can talk such nonsense without knowing. They're just fooling themselves and the people who follow them. We always want to define the Creator's creation, the Naam, and bring it out in words and say, this is how it is happening. But it is not happening like that. They want to define anahad. They want to talk about Dasam Dwar. But these are revelations of the inner mind. Even if you talk about them, how can you talk about them? We cannot talk about and express the Atma. You can give signals, but they don't mean anything. I can know 100 books on Dasam Dwar, but till I have not experienced it, I will never know it. If I have never seen a tree and felt a tree, I can read 1,000 books on how a tree is, but I will still not know it. This is what we try and do. We try and fool others by saying we know it. And those who are following also are not really seeking reality of the spirit. They want to get this assurance within their ego mind that they know. Ek du ek syana. They think they can teach. They know about Anahad. They have known it. They have felt it. There's a disease in medical terms. It's called tinnitus. Your ears keep ringing. It can be because of a trauma to the brain, or it can be just a tinnitus is no reason. They don't know why it happens. It maybe increases the oxygen level to the brain and try and reduce it. Now someone started saying that tinnitus is anadhanad. It just amazes me. These are experiences which we have to live through once we go into our inner spirituality. And if we don't go into our inner spirituality, we cannot live through them. Just by knowing words, we can't convince ourselves we know. In fact, those who are saying they know and teach them are also not knowing. But we like to fool ourselves. Just like Maharaj is saying now, the world is fooling itself. Ik du ik syana. Nanak je ko apo jane, agge gehe na soe. Maharaj says, Vadda Sahib Vaddi Nai, Ita Jaka Hove. Maharaj says the Creator is Vadda, he's large, he's big, he's exalted. He's a higher self. Vadda Sahib Vaddi Nai, and his name is also big. His name is also exalted. And he does, whatever he does comes to pass. Kita jaka hove. Whatever he does happens. The Creator is the hukum of creation. Sahib says that one who claims to know everything, Nanak je ko appe apo jane. If some of us claim we know, agge geha na soe, then we are in the world ahead. We are not decorated. We are not celebrated. We will be punished. Agge geha na soe. In the ego world, we can play games. We can like to fool ourselves, fool others. But ultimately, we can't fool anyone. We will all regret the wrong which we do. And especially the wrong which we do about playing with the spiritual life and defining it in words which it's not understood what life is. There is no need to live in denial, Maharaj says. But we should not have an overreach that I like to define the Creator who's created me. It's not possible. Nanak je ko apo jane, agge geha na soe. If any one of us thinks that he knows or he can say or claim to know, then he's not going to be finding exaltation or expression of appreciation in the world ahead. The world ahead is right here. It's what our state of mind is. The 21st Pauri, Guru Sahib is talking about a revelation of the mind, a revelation within ourselves. How it is our need to define our Creator, and it's not possible to do so. And if we do that error, then we will live the consequences. And Maharaj says that beyond the ego world, there is a beautiful world of love. And that's the Tirath, the pilgrimage which lives with us always. We visited the 21st Pauri of the Japji today. Forgive my errors and anything wrong I would have said. Discussing the Shabad purifies the mind. It helps have a vision of the Creator through Bani, the Gurbani. I thank you all for being here. If you have any questions or you want to discuss something, please raise your hand. If you are listening on YouTube, you can write out your question and Gursimran or Gagandeep will bring it here on Zoom. Thank you for coming. And thanks to Guru Sahib for giving us this occasion to share the revelation of Gurbani, the 21st Pauri of the Japji. Thank you.